Once upon a time, in a thriving African Nairobi city pulsing with life, there lived a young woman named Yvonne, a dreamer and artist from humble beginnings. She grew up with big hopes, always sketching in her notebook and dreaming of a world where her art could tell stories and bring beauty. Her childhood was colored by the love of her mother, who worked long hours to provide for her. But as Yvonne grew older, her dreams began to clash with the harsh realities of her world. Yvonne had two close friends, Michael, a tech enthusiast who could turn any piece of software into a wonder, and Flint, a fierce advocate for justice who dedicated himself to bettering their neighborhood. Together, they shared laughter, hardships, and endless dreams of what they might one day achieve. But life, as they soon discovered, wasn't as simple as their childhood dreams had promised. As Yvonne reached adulthood, she found herself caught in the labyrinth of underemployment. Despite her talent, steady work remained a fantasy, and the competition was fierce. She spent her days hustling in coffee shops, hoping her designs would land her a big client, but most days ended with a heavy sigh and an empty wallet. Michael, too, had once landed a promising job, but the economic downturn hit hard, reducing him to stringing together gigs just to scrape by. They would often meet at a small park, seeking solace in each other's company.
You know, Michael, sometimes I wonder if all those dreams we had were too big for this world. Why is it so hard just to survive?
Sometimes it feels that way, but we're fighters, Yvonne. We're not the kind to give up. And remember, we have Flint. He's always ready to remind us of what we're fighting for.
Their conversations often turned to Flint, whose energy had become the pulse of their neighborhood. Flint was driven by a fiery commitment to justice. He had recently organized a community gathering to speak about the growing economic disparities and how their community could unite against it. At Flint's rally, Yvonne and Michael were introduced to another friend, Laila, a vibrant and ambitious young woman with dreams of becoming a social media influencer. Her life looked perfect on the surface, but she, too, hid her struggles behind her screen. Despite her online popularity, she and her family barely scraped by. Flint took the stage, and his voice rose with strength as he addressed the crowd.
They want us to believe that our struggles are individual, that if we're not succeeding, it's our fault. But look around you, we're all fighting the same fight. Together, we can be stronger. We can demand the respect and opportunity we deserve.
Flint's words ignited something in Yvonne, Michael, and even Laila. But while Flint's activism brought hope, it also drew the attention of powerful figures who were more interested in silencing voices than listening to them. Flint's growing influence threatened some people in power, particularly a wealthy businessman named Mr. Bakery, who had an interest in keeping things exactly as they were. Bakery controlled much of the neighborhood's wealth, and he despised anyone who challenged his authority. When Flint continued his organizing efforts, Bakery sent veiled threats and tried to intimidate him into silence. But Flint refused to be silenced, and soon Yvonne, Michael, and Laila found themselves caught in the conflict. One evening, as they gathered in Yvonne's apartment, they discussed the risks they were taking.
Flint, what if he actually follows through on these threats? I'm scared. It's not just about us anymore.
I understand, Yvonne, but we can't stop now. If we don't stand up, who will? This is bigger than all of us.
And yet, I can't shake the fear. We're not just risking ourselves. This could ruin everything we've worked for.
Laila, meanwhile, felt conflicted. She wanted to support her friends, but struggled to balance her public image with the reality of their fight. One night, Flint was arrested on false charges, orchestrated by Bakery to silence him. Yvonne, Michael, and Laila rallied to his aid, organizing protests and raising awareness on social media, but their efforts faced mounting resistance. The community was fearful, and the weight of the struggle grew heavier. Yvonne, overwhelmed, found herself spiraling into despair. The stresses of constant struggle had begun affecting her mental health, and she found herself withdrawing.
Yvonne, you've been so quiet. Are you okay?
I'm just tired, Michael. Tired of fighting. Tired of everything seeming impossible. Her friends rallied around her, providing support when she felt she could no longer carry on.
After months of hardship, Flint was finally released, though his spirit had been bruised. But the experience only fueled his determination, and he realized that his work had inspired others in the community to take a stand. Slowly, people began organizing themselves, demanding fair treatment and better opportunities. Michael managed to land a solid position with a tech startup focused on building solutions for local businesses, and Yvonne finally found a steady client base that appreciated her work. Laila used her platform to highlight social issues, shedding her influencer image for that of an advocate. Together, the friends took to the streets in a final rally, which drew thousands. This time, even Bakery couldn't ignore their demands. The voices were too loud, and they spoke as one. After Flint's release, life doesn't immediately return to normal. Yvonne, Michael, and Laila face backlash from various corners of society, where people accuse them of disrupting peace for a fight that isn't worth it. Flint, meanwhile, is haunted by his time in jail, wrestling with flashbacks and doubts about the cost of his advocacy. Yvonne, recognizing Flint's struggle, paints murals around the city to honor their cause, hoping to uplift her friend and reignite the hope they once had. Michael supports her by creating an online platform to share these murals with the world, highlighting Nairobi's struggle for justice. As Yvonne's art and Michael's platform gain traction, people across Nairobi begin to take notice. The growing interest fuels a small but passionate movement, inspiring others to share their own stories. Flint, still hesitant to return to his former fervor, joins Yvonne, Michael, and Laila in holding workshops to help others affected by similar struggles find a voice. However, this newfound momentum attracts Mr. Bakery's attention once again. He begins spreading rumors that Flint and his friends are agitators, hoping to turn public opinion against them and discredit their efforts. The campaign against Flint and his friends takes a toll. Some in the community buy into Bakery's propaganda, believing the group to be troublemakers. Laila, whose following on social media has grown significantly, faces criticism from her fans for her political stance, with some threatening to unfollow and boycott her posts. Michael, too, receives harsh feedback, with potential clients turning him down due to his association with Flint. However, the group continues their work, knowing they cannot afford to lose momentum now. Determined to clear their names, Yvonne, Flint, Michael, and Laila organize an art and tech exhibition to showcase Nairobi's potential, bringing community members together for an evening of inspiration and unity. The exhibit is titled Voices of Nairobi, with Yvonne's murals, Michael's digital innovations, and Flint's speech at its heart. Laila captures the event through live streams and updates, her voice growing stronger as an advocate rather than an entertainer. The night is a success, drawing supporters from all over the city who see the Friends' work as a beacon of hope. Bakery, seeing that his attempts to discredit Flint and his friends have failed, escalates his efforts. He bribes officials to limit the Friends' activities, creating bureaucratic roadblocks to any event or gathering they try to organize. The Friends face unannounced inspections, false fines, and even threats to shut down their businesses. Feeling the pressure, Yvonne, Michael, Flint, and Laila start to question whether they have the strength to keep fighting. Just when it seems like the system has won, a sympathetic journalist named Amina reaches out, offering to share their story on a national platform. She interviews each friend, diving into their lives, challenges, and hopes. the story gains traction, touching the hearts of countless readers across Kenya. For the first time, the friends see the scope of their influence, realizing they aren't just fighting for their neighborhood, but for others in the same struggle. Inspired by the journalist's story, people across Kenya begin to organize. Community groups form in neighboring towns, and a collective effort emerges to address economic and social disparities. Yvonne, Flint, Michael, and Laila find themselves invited to speak at schools, community centers, and even government forums. Their voices are being heard on a scale they had never imagined, bringing a new sense of responsibility and purpose to their cause. Yvonne's art begins to attract sponsors and investors who appreciate her commitment to portraying social justice. She creates a nonprofit to teach art to underprivileged youth, helping them find an outlet for their own experiences. Michael secures partnerships with local businesses, implementing tech solutions to aid small enterprises. Laila rebrands herself as an advocate, shedding her old influencer image and using her platform to spotlight local issues. Flint, at last, finds a balance between activism and self-care, continuing to push for justice while maintaining his own health and well-being. Feeling the power of their success, the friends decide to confront Bakery directly. In a tense meeting, they lay out the changes they envision for the neighborhood, demanding he contribute to their efforts rather than hinder them. Though Bakery resists, public opinion has shifted so dramatically that he knows he cannot win. Reluctantly, he agrees to support their initiatives, though his motives remain selfish, hoping to salvage his public image. With Bakery no longer a threat, the friends channel their energies into building sustainable community programs. Flint starts a justice fund, providing legal aid for those facing unfair treatment. Michael's tech platform expands, connecting job seekers with fair employers. Yvonne's nonprofit blossoms into a cultural center where art, community, and activism intersect. Together, they've not only survived their struggles, but have created a path for others to thrive. Just when things seem to be stabilizing, an anonymous letter arrives for Flint, warning that one of his closest allies is secretly working with Bakery. Suspicion and paranoia creep into the group, as each member wonders who the traitor could be. This unexpected rift tests their trust in each other, leading to tense confrontations and lingering doubts. As the friends grapple with feelings of betrayal, Yvonne's nonprofit becomes a target of sabotage. Vandals deface her murals, and someone hacks Michael's platform, posting inflammatory content under his name. The community becomes divided, with many accusing the group of stirring unnecessary conflict. Flint and his friends must find the source of this sabotage before their hard work crumbles. Michael, determined to clear his name, investigates the source of the hack. He uncovers clues pointing toward a hidden network of wealthy businessmen, led by Bakery, who are actively working to prevent any disruption to their control over the community. The revelation leaves the friends both shocked and invigorated, knowing they're up against a much larger, organized threat. To confront the hidden network, Flint decides to infiltrate one of Bakery's exclusive gatherings. Disguised as a server, he overhears the network discussing plans to manipulate local elections. But before Flint can escape with the evidence, he's recognized and cornered by Bakery's security team. His fate hangs in the balance as he tries to outwit them and make his escape. Flint narrowly escapes the gathering with the help of Laila, who distracts Bakery's men by posing as an eager social media influencer looking for a story. This act of bravery brings Laila's role in the group to new heights, but it also puts her in Bakery's crosshairs. Now, they must all remain vigilant, knowing Bakery will retaliate. Yvonne finds herself facing an internal battle as her mental health deteriorates under the constant stress. Haunted by nightmares and anxiety, she questions her place in the fight. A new character, Dr. Mumbai, a compassionate psychologist, enters the story, helping Yvonne regain her sense of purpose. Dr. Mumbai's insights open Yvonne's eyes to the importance of self-care in the face of adversity. Michael receives a lucrative job offer from a tech mogul, only to discover it's a ploy orchestrated by Bakery to separate him from the group. Tempted by the financial security but torn by loyalty, Michael faces a moral dilemma. The group's reaction to his decision adds a layer of tension and complexity, testing their unity and resilience. Flint connects with a secret underground network of activists dedicated to disrupting corrupt systems across Kenya. This network, called Mwamko Awakening, becomes a vital resource for the group. Together, they planned a large-scale public demonstration aimed at exposing Bakery's manipulations, marking a turning point in the community's resistance. Just as the group is preparing for the demonstration, the identity of the traitor is finally revealed. It's one of their trusted allies, who is forced to cooperate with Bakery under threat. The revelation shakes them deeply, especially as they realize the traitor has been feeding Bakery their plans. In a moment of forgiveness, the group chooses to protect their ally, recognizing the power of fear and manipulation. The day of the demonstration arrives, with thousands showing up to support the cause. Just as the rally gains momentum, Bakery's men incite chaos by inciting violence among the crowd, aiming to discredit Flint and the movement. Yvonne captures the unfolding events on video, revealing the truth to the world and creating a viral movement that extends beyond Nairobi. Though Bakery's influence is waning, a new adversary emerges, Samantha, a cunning politician with her own aspirations of power, who uses the turmoil to her advantage. Presenting herself as a champion of justice, she deceives the public into supporting her bid for office. But Flint and his friends, who know Samantha's true motives, must devise a way to expose her hypocrisy. To counter Samantha's influence, Flint and Michael form an alliance with an unexpected figure, Laila's estranged cousin, a wealthy businesswoman who was once close to Bakery but turned against him. She offers resources and protection, but her loyalty remains uncertain, and the friends must decide how far they can trust her. Under pressure from Samantha and Bakery's supporters, the group faces threats from all sides. Yvonne's murals are once again vandalized, and Michael's platform is hacked a second time. The continuous strain nearly breaks them, and they consider leaving Nairobi to escape the turmoil. But a heartfelt conversation with Dr. Mumbai reminds them of the impact they've made and reignites their determination to fight. With the support of Mwamko, Flint and his friends launch a public campaign revealing Samantha and Bakery's schemes. They expose records, testimonies, and Yvonne's video footage. Samantha's support crumbles as the truth reaches the public, sparking outrage and leading to her resignation. Bakery, now without allies, is left vulnerable, and the community calls for his removal. With Samantha and Bakery defeated, Flint, Yvonne, Michael, and Laila are finally able to rebuild their lives and their community. They establish a community center to support underprivileged youth, offering resources for art, technology, and social justice. The friends have found victory, but it came at a great cost, and they must now learn to heal from the scars left by their journey. In the end, Flint's tireless efforts paid off. The city's leaders began addressing the issues of unemployment and inequality. The friends had found new paths, shaped not only by their struggles, but by the resilience and unity they shared. True strength lies in unity and perseverance. Though the system may seem insurmountable, when people come together, their voices are impossible to ignore. Resilience isn't just surviving, but finding ways to thrive, even in the harshest circumstances. The community realized that systemic change comes when people unite in action. This realization drove them to form grassroots initiatives and economic programs, ensuring no one would have to endure what they had gone through alone.